Yes, I was born in Bay County at a little place they call Orban, up about 15 miles this side of Panama City, right where Tyndall Field sits now. That's where I was born and raised until I was 16 years old. When I was 16 years old, my dad got interested in the seafood business, and he felt that we had come from time to time and studied the bay, as I told you before. Found it to be rich, great opportunity. So we moved to Franklin County, to Apalachicola in 1926 when I was, actually I was 16-year-old boy. And we came here because after studying the bay and looking at the bay, we decided it was the richest bay in natural resources there was anywhere in the United States. And us being in the seafood business, we felt like this was the place for us. There was opportunity here for us to make a good living and make a success. And also, since that time, I have been in it. I was actually captain of a commercial fishing boat up until 1961. So he put in a boat by the name of Miss Stephenie, a beautiful boat and a very fast boat. And so we became very competitive to the old timers, and we were very salty. You know, all of the successful captains had to be very salty, take the weather most as it comes, you know, and rough weather. That's when it seemed that the fish runs best, when she gets rough. And too rough for most people. The people that's salty enough to be out there and go ahead and take the chances and all, he is the one that usually makes a success. So we become very competitive, and so to keep down family feelings and among the most of the people that we had worked with, we began to look at Apalachicola. And me and my brother, Jesse Curtin, older brother, we taken a gill net, and we came over here. Now, we were not gill net fishermen, but we were seine fishermen. And we taken the gill net to just explore the bay. We could do that without much cost. And when we explored the bay, and all after several months studying it and looking at it, we came up with the idea, as I've said before, that we can make some money here. We can make some money in Apalachicola Bay. It's rich, it's plentiful. And there was a bounty of all kind of seafood, mullet, trout, flounder, shrimp, oysters, and you name it, that we had it. There was plentiful. And of course, the oystermen usually went out on the morning of about 8 o'clock, and they worked on the bars until about summers. They'd start coming in from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until dark, and sometime many of them would come in after dark. The harder workers would come in after dark. And then the ladies that did the shucking was housewives and fine people, family fine people. And they worked hard. Most of them would come in from 6 o'clock in the morning and start shucking. From then till 8 o'clock they would be coming in, and they had their own particular stall that they worked in.
And that's the way it was for more than 100 years on what is now referred to as Florida's Forgotten Coast. And while most of Florida's coastlines have been developed, this area and the way of life for the people that live here is on the rebound. This is the Apalachicola River in the panhandle of Florida. It separates the eastern and central time zone, and for thousands of years it has delivered fresh water from Georgia and Alabama into the Apalachee Bay. This river and the North Florida highland sands it carries created St. George Island and neighboring spits of sand in the Gulf of Mexico.
In the fall of the year, in the wintertime, our mullet would develop roe. They would bunch up, and they would what we call run. And certain places in the county, they would have seine yards, and they would take a seine and they would take and see the mullet coming in. There'd always be a guy up on a perch who would say, strike them. You'd see the mullet coming. They would round the mullet up, drag the mullet in. They would catch anywhere to 8, I've seen 10,000 pounds pulled in at a time. And the gill nets was a little different in the way that you harvest mullet. You do it at night. A lot of times was a good time to go. The mullet can't see you as well. Years ago, all we had was a little push skiff. When I say push, you used oars. And the net was on the back of the boat. You'd get the mullet in the position you wanted, and you oared around the mullet with the net being thrown out, and harvest them that way. The net bed came in effect. They had a video of showing porpoises or dolphins being caught in nets in the gill nets. It was totally false. That video came in from North Carolina, I believe, and with my years of fishing, with my daddy's years of fishing, has never, ever caught a dolphin in a net. It was false advertisement. The majority of the country is non-fishermen. They have no idea where the fish come from or how. Well, what happens, you have nobody fishing, and the bycatch is continually growing to keep things in check. The drum, the red drum, the black drum are all shell eaters, and they take this toll on small oysters and clams from our bays. It has really hurt the harvesting of those products, and it's only going to get worse. Is another reason that this farming the oysters and farming the clams has been such a good program.
90% of your oysters are coming farm raised, or the state of Texas or the state of Louisiana. They still have some that are wild oysters, but a lot of people are looking for farm raised right now. The state of Florida was 800,000 bushels short for 2018. There's 100 to 150 in a bushel, so that tells you there's a high demand for shellfish.
There's also, though, a limited number of opportunities for the leases and so forth, aren't there?
Yes.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Where we farm, I believe there's 60 something odd leases. They're not opening any more leases for quite a while where we're at.
Is there any other place in Florida where this operation could actually be successfully carried out in Florida?
Yes, East Point, Apalachicola, where they've been farming for the last 100 years. Since the bay ran dry, the state's turning over and opening leases over there as well. Now there is some west of Apalachicola where some guys are farming, and then there's some in Pensacola or Destin. I don't remember which one. So basically there's about 4 spots in the state of Florida that's got farm raised oysters.
Well, I mean, when we get these, they come in flats, and they're flat like this. And what we do is we bend them and build them to make them where they're square. So when we put the oysters in them, they're able to float in the water and filter water and grow. We start trying to make them take a shape.
So these are going to float on top of the water.
They'll float on top of the water.
And they're going to have what inside them?
They'll have oysters inside them, small. The size that we're building here will be the next size of of seed that we put in after they've grown a little bit. And they fit in here so they'll be big enough so they don't come through the holes here to the mesh.
So they grow inside that to the full-size edible oyster, or is there another step in the process?
You can grow them out in these bags and this mesh here, but typically we'll put them in another cage like this that has bigger holes in it, and then that's when they'll fully grow out. Steve, you can see that on these baskets that we've got a shape to them. We've cut out the corners to start making so that it'll shape and be able to close up.
Like a little box.
Like a little box. That's all we're doing is building a box.
Do you mark these things with your number, or
Yes,
like
they're
crab traps of sorts?
They're marked with a tag. What happens when we close these up, and I'll throw it over to Dillon, what he does is he hog reams and secures it with these metal stainless steel clips. And that's what secures the basket. So the next stage here, we put these clips on, and this is what secures it in the water to a long line. That you'll have a long line that is anchored in the mud that has two floats on each end, and when this is anchored and secured on the line, there'll be a basket that's secured here, and then another one, and then another one, and so forth and so on.
Tell me about the clam operation.
That's some dirty work, man.
Tell me about it.
Well, those clams, they go down in these bags. We put them in these bags. They go in these bags right here. There's an end right here that's open. Got an end there. So they'll go down in there, spread them out on the bottom flat like this, and they'll just pull the mud up in there. So that's what they're doing. They're just in there filtering mud. That's how they grow. So then what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll pull them out, bring them out, stand there and wash them. Because this thing's just full of mud. It's dirty.
We get a pressure washer.
Yeah,
on
we
them.
use this winch right here, bring them up.
So it's like carpet on the floor. I'm down there at the sea.
Yeah, it's dark. I mean, you can't see.
Do you dive down in to get them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got to dive down there and hook a rope back up to this, and then we'll pull them back up.
So the guys at Wicked Oysters spent another steamy summer morning getting their second stage oyster baskets ready. No matter how you look at it, work in the seafood industry has no shortcuts to success, and a tremendous team effort's necessary for the company to make a profit and deliver what could be the most perfect oyster a man or woman could grow.
The first thing we're going to go do is we're going to go get some oysters that we've planted already and take them up and split the bags and replant them. Tie them up to some lines before our babies get here. We actually have another farmer that picked up our babies for us, and he's picking up his also. And next time that we get more babies from down there, we'll pick him up, pick his up, and it's just helping each other out. That's all we're doing.
What am I looking at over here, Dillon?
And there you're looking at a couple thousand oyster baskets. Probably 15 different leaseholders. Them guys on that boat, they're cold. They're going through oysters that's ready or not ready. Put them in bigger bags, grow out bags, or breaking them in half. That's the catch 'em gear. They're individually anchored. The flat bags like we have is go deep bags.
You know, it's like an answer to our problem.
Right.
That they could have tried this, you know, a long time ago, right?
Yes, sir.
But they didn't, because all they had to do was roll out there and start tonging them off, right?
Yes, sir.
The rest of them are the first bag. We won't do nothing with those. We'll just put them out.
On the other side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That should be the second bag.
What's over? They're gonna take them down and bring them back equal.
Where the sands are.
And there you go.
We got to keep all these the same. Just take them, put them along the edge over there. You know, lay them down low. It doesn't matter, you can stack them. We just want to keep all these in one bag. These are the ones we have to split.
I tried to get them for school.
You want some gloves? Yeah, we'll take them out here in a second because we're going to
Have to see what the condition is.
we'll look because we're going to split them. You can see the bag's just about half full.
Sure.
So we're going to split them. And this bag will become 2 bags.
There you go.
And vice versa. So. Yellow zip ties, we're not using. Okay, we're not using these. These are for the brand new babies.
Okay.
We're going to use all these to split this. Okay. So if you want to, start cutting the zip ties here. Okay. Okay, you can see when we do this, we'll dump them here and we'll kind of mess with them and kind of crunch them up just a little bit and kind of scar them up. But these, you can see like these oysters, that's a good one. You can see the size of these oysters. Let me see if I can find a small one. When we get them, this is one that's probably not. This is what they look like when we get them. Is about like that, and that's what they've grown into so far. There's one. There's a spot. So you can see that's what the oyster looks like when we first got him. And this one's not growing very well, so he's kind of a runt. But in the last, from this, they've grown to this size in about
18 days.
No, it's been a little bit more than that. No, I guess it has been 18 days. 18 to 20 days, it's gone from that to that.
Wow.
So that's pretty, pretty significant because of the water. But you can see,
and because the predators aren't scooping them up and knocking the crap out of them.
That's right.
That's money.
That's money. Because once you look at it, each one of these, if we can get them to market, just wholesale, could be, each one of those could be 50 to 55 cents a piece. So, I mean,
it's worth the work.
There's there's $2 worth right there of oysters.
Yes, that's right. Nice.
So, that's what we're trying to do. There's probably going to be 2, I think.
Over there, straight half this way and half that way. Oh, yeah. But we'll be every day here.
Yes.
About 3 more weeks, we'll be out here every day.
Every day. And the temperature.
At least 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day.
What is your take on the Apalachicola River and the water wars?
The water wars?
Yeah.
Well, there's I don't know, I think that if it's flowing down this way, I think you should just leave it the way it is, personally. A lot of development, and you start changing Mother Nature. That's one of the reasons that, you have issues where oysters are not growing around Apalachicola like they did, 25 years ago.
And why is that?
Well, an oyster has to have so much fresh water, and it can't have too much fresh water or it'll die. So, so an influx of too much fresh water. I got a little bit more Dillon. An influx of too much fresh water, an oyster will not survive. But if it's got too much salt water, it'll die also. So it's got to be a perfect balance. And I think when you start working things that you're changing the environment, it's not allowing the wild oysters to produce the way that they did,
50 years ago.
50 years ago.
So upriver development and the high salinity of the bay is leading to having a deleterious effect on oysters. Not only the fish and not being able to gill net big drums or catch them in such a way that they don't ravage the reef. You got that going against, you got the net band going against, and you got the salinity going against you.
Yep.
But this method here seems to be defeating both of those.
It is. It's more controlled. Everything is more controlled as far as what is put in the water, what's taken out, and we're protected from predators. And honestly, I grew up on wild oysters and eating just like everybody else. But these oysters that we're growing are they're off the chart as far as taste, size. They're saltier.
There's no fresh water that dumps in here other than rain. There's no rivers, none of that. We rely on rain.
You could say that this is a superior oyster.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's a delicacy.
Today, the guys from Wicked Oyster, with some help from their fellow oystermen at Blackwater Gold Oysters, are hauling in clams, which have been growing alongside the oysters on the bay bottom for the last 18 months. These clams will be loaded and headed straight to a nearby processing plant who will process them for wholesale dealers throughout the United States.
Oh my land, some other load.
We'll do this today, and we'll probably pull about this many more tomorrow.
Different nowadays versus the old days where they tong them and ride them around in the back of the truck all day. We harvested a little bit today. We're going to go harvest a little bit more now and hopefully get off the, and I say harvest, we got the stage. These oysters have to be in the market by 11 o'clock during the hot months. And when I say in the market, they have to be in the cooler and cool down to 55 degrees or 50 degrees so that they stay alive and people are able to eat them raw.
You been working out here this long too?
No, not this long. No, probably what, Mike? 4 months maybe? About 4 months.
He just got some seed down and in the water to go along. We both put some down at the same time, and he'll come out and help me with mine, and we'll work his, and we're kind of working together versus having to hire somebody every time.
Farming oysters, we're collecting for harvest and getting them ready for market. And then we already sent some to market today, and we'll send more tomorrow.
So these are ready to go oysters.
Yeah, I have 2 lines of fully matured oysters. They're a little over a year old. And then my A line is all my new seed.
Do you also do clams?
I do. I don't like to, but I do clams.
How long have you been doing this?
4 years.
Those oysters look perfect, man. Perfect size.
Yeah.
Just, man.
We finished up for the day and headed straight for Angelo's and Sons Tropical Trader Shrimp Company, a restaurant located just east of the Oglochney River and the bridge off 98 in Panacea.
Right now, he was at the house at 4 this morning. I had everything cooked for breakfast.
Those are the prettiest oysters I've seen in a very long time.
Yes.
These oysters have, look at the sides of them, right? They're white like teeth.
Yeah, wavy
They're
tail.
bone white. That looks amazing.
These came from Outlaw. They're actually Mike's oysters.
They ain't the ones that get tomorrow.
Oh, there might be a few in there like that.
Look at that.
They'll pick those out. The big ones, they'll pick out.
You grew some
We
pretty
grow them
oysters.
especially to fit those crackers, by the way.
Yeah, they're custom.
That's how we size them,
Yeah.
with the saltine crackers.
With a saltine cracker, right? Yeah,
that's
that's
what we
awesome,
do.
right?
Cold.